Hey everybody, Mike Peluso here, founder of True Living. One of the things that I hear all the time from thought leaders is, Mike, I would love to be able to produce some passive income and I want to get my ideas into the world. And here at True Living, we believe that there's no better way to do that than writing a book, creating a signature presentation, or creating some course content. And today I want to speak to you a little bit about course content because there's really three different ways to think about creating course content. The first is like the splatter effect. It's kind of like back in the day, there used to be albums and there'd be about 12 songs on an album by a musician. And now you could think of that album as miscellaneous songs. You know, they're about all kinds of different topics, or you could think of that album from start to finish, where the conversation inside of the songs or the lyrics of the song seem together to create one fluid thought. Or you could look at it a little bit of a different way, which I'm going to share with you here. But really there's three different kinds or three different ways of thinking about course material. So first, we're going to start off with the splatter effect. So the splatter effect is kind of like a song. It's a random topic, something that you're really passionate about, something that you want to share. And these are topics that you almost could go on a rant on when you're driving in the car. So what I recommend doing is when you feel really inspired, grab your tape recorder, record the conversation that you have, then have it transcribed, then have somebody edit it all the way down to some bullet points, and then record those bullet points and make sure that you have real actionable takeaways. So maybe you name it, what's the general theme of what you're talking about? What's the description? Did you record it? Did you send it to be transcribed? And did you have it written into some bullets? So hopefully this is something that's very helpful. Next is the milestone effect. Now, again, this is really helpful for creating core methodology. We have a little bit more of an advanced system here that we teach, but these are just some really beginning basic exercises that can get your creative juices flowing. So if you think about things linearly, what is the first thing that somebody needs to do practically? And what information do they need to know? And what tool can you create to assist this? So if you have a really dynamic course, you may want to include downloadable PDFs, spreadsheets, audio files, maybe exercises that they do with partners. So what is the milestones that you want somebody to go through? And from step one, step two, step three, step four. Not that complicated, but hopefully it'll get your creative juices going here. Let me give you a quick example. For us, one of the things that we do when we are working with a business is this process that we call the business or the wheel of business. And so the first thing we want to do is help identify somebody's ideal client, who they need to be and who their ideal client is, then an irresistible offer, then finding engaging their tribe with that irresistible offer, then focusing on their ability to ask for the sale once they have those predictable leads, then charging what they're worth, then creating a system and tools to scale, then a referral system, then really looking to optimize their lifestyle, right? So that's kind of a linear approach. Although oftentimes, if you think about things, it's, the journey is not necessarily linear, right? So that's one, just a quick example of the linear way of thinking about your methodology and course content. Let me just pull over this next one here. Okay. Next is what I like to call the product creator. I love this one. This is my favorite. And so we started off with the splatter kind of random effect. Then we said, okay, moving forward, linear thinking. All right, now we're going to start off by reverse engineering the outcome that somebody wants. So let's just say that somebody has consumed your content and they've achieved the desired result that they want. We're not going to talk about the content that they've consumed. They've just achieved the desired result that they want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to think about this backwards. What are some of the problems that might show up with them having consumed, or said differently, what are some of the problems that might show up after they've achieved the desired outcome that you want to offer? So for example, let's talk about relationship coaching, because that's just a really easy one, right? So somebody now has they've consumed your content. They now are ready to have an incredible relationship. What's one problem that might arise? Well, they might need to explain to their friends, for example, why they're staying with the person that they were just previously telling all their friends that they were going to break up with. So maybe you take that, turn it into a module, or you create a downloadable PDF on effective communication. Let's say that that same person now wants to increase their intimacy in their relationship. They've got a great relationship, things are going really well, there's no more arguing, but now they want to increase their intimacy. So now maybe you create another module, PDF, that kind of a thing. So you want to think, one, splatter effect. What are these topics that I'm super passionate about? And then two, from a milestone standpoint, moving forward, what are the stages or steps that somebody needs to see? Or three, once somebody's achieved that desired outcome, reverse engineering what they're going to need to get there. The moment that somebody experiences the transformation, what problems arise? Is there a physical tool that needs to be created, a solution? What does that look like? I like to put the description here, and then the delivery method. And you can see that we've brainstormed a ton of different delivery methods. I want to read some of them to you now so you can get your creative juices flowing. Is it a downloadable PDF, an email, a Facebook group, an attachment, a physical product, blog content, YouTube, video, in-person event, physical handouts, webinars, online courses, video conferences, phone conferences, professional services? Is it an audio, podcast, ebook, physical book, mini course, physical retreat, conference, mastermind, online retreat, and survey? I mean, these are just some things that you can think about to help create that buyer's your transformational journey experience for whoever it is that you're working with. When you are a thought leader, you're bringing somebody on a journey, and you're responsible for giving them the steps that they need to succeed. What step is going to get them to that place the quickest? My personal favorite is to reverse engineer it, because oftentimes when we're thinking forward, we are providing things that are not necessarily necessary. In other words, there's a million different ways for me to walk forward. Unless I know that I'm headed to the car, I may take a million different routes there. So having that clear vision is essential inside of this. And then you want to think about the stages in the buyer's journey. Is it in fulfillment? This is one of the methods that we teach here, and then the value of that, the actual price, your customer savings, the cost per unit, and then the profit. So if you create all these intellectual pieces of property, you can string them together in a course, and that course may be worth $10,000 that you then sell for $7,500 or $3,500. And knowing the value of each one of these different pieces of intellectual property and then discounting it creates a really great buyer's stack, which you then can put into what we call a signature presentation, which helps people understand the core reasons why you do what you do, and why they should buy from you, and why you're more qualified than anybody else, in a logical storyline sequence. So hopefully you got a lot of value out of that. Hopefully you are thinking about, how you can impact the world, how your unique experience and thought leadership can be turned into tangible, actionable steps for others to follow, because you have the responsibility to help others with the information that you have gathered over your course of your life. Remember, you don't need to be miles ahead of somebody. Sometimes just a couple of steps will make a really big impact, because you'll be extremely relatable. So hopefully you found some value out of that. I'd love to get your feedback, and friend request me on Facebook or wherever you're seeing this. Hope you have a great day, and bye for now.